In March 2017, there was a fundamental shift in the games industry. A fundamental shift that we've not seen the likes of in quite some time. A shift that saw so many multiplayer-focused studios re-evaluate their entire approach to multiplayer games and modes. We are, of course, talking about the launch of PUBG Battlegrounds, aka PUBG, and the birth of Battle Royale into the zeitgeist. It was a game that broke Steam records, became an instant hit overnight, and as a result forged a path for the newly created Battle Royale genre. Fortnite, Warzone, Apex Legends and countless others followed, but without PUBG Battlegrounds, who knows what would have happened. PUBG was the catalyst. Admittedly, we're pretty obsessed with the game when it launched, playing whenever humanly possible, but working in the games press, we unfortunately had to bail out in early 2018 to cover the slew of games that were dropping around that time. To put that into perspective, PUBG was still a single map game then, with no achievements and still in early access. Admittedly, we did return, albeit briefly, at the start of 2019, right before the fourth map, the more compact Vikendi, dropped, but a similar fate laid in our path with our work commitments, so that return was brief. With patch 12.2 dropping, introducing the 8th map, the third 8x8, Taigo in South Korea, plus a whole host of game-changing additions, we thought that now would be the perfect time to delve back into the tactical shooter and see how much has really changed between now and then. It's amazing a difference a few years makes, right? And by a few, we mean 3. Jumping back into PUBG after 3 years was an eye-opening experience to see how much has really changed since the last time we booted the game up. In 2018, when I was knee-deep in PUBG, the game had its issues on consoles. There was even a temporary FPS restriction rolled out on consoles at one point to address a technical issue in the game. In 2021, PUBG as a new lease of life on a new console generation is running smooth as butter, and it now has a total of 8 maps, various modes, loads more vehicles and weapons, and it's even got a battle pass. The list goes on. Taigo feels like a return to the glory days of the original 8x8 Orangel map, which spawned the PUBG Battle Royale phenomenon. There are choke points, plenty of farmland and thickets to hide in. There's familiar sounding but completely revamped areas like the Hosam prison, a school, military base and so on. There are your usual large towns to battle in, small encampments, whatever you fancy, there is an area of engagement for you to get comfortable in. Taigo toes the line between feeling fresh and feeling instantly recognisable. It feels like a warm blanket on a winter's day, a map to signify the return of the good old days, the days when a genre was birthed. Competition in every industry promotes innovation and iteration, and thanks to games that spawned in its wake, PUBG has improved its ground game as well. Not only does PUBG now have a rare world self-AED item, aka a self-revive stim, inspired by games like Warzone, heck, even the ping system has been drastically improved since launch, probably due to the likes of Apex Legends. But one of the more significant additions is the new comeback system, i.e. basically the PUBG version of Warzone's second chance gulag system, allowing for players who go out early while playing with teammates to return to the action should they survive a mini battle royale on another part of the island. Sure, it's not as frenetic and frequent as the gulag in Warzone, and you do have to wait a short time to get into it, but it works for PUBG. With some refinements in terms of timings, it could definitely be a staple for the PUBG franchise, that's for sure. On the whole, the core PUBG experience hasn't changed all that much, which for the most part is a good thing. And thanks to a ton of quality of life additions, it's definitely a more accessible game now than it was when it originally launched. Since its initial release, the aforementioned and much improved ping system has been implemented, there are flare guns to call in airdrops or even a large armoured truck, you can now even auto-equip attachments. Can you tell how long ago we last played it? That said, PUBG isn't the most intuitive and accessible battle royale on the market, but that kind of feels like the point, to offer a more simulation-based and less arcade-focused battle royale experience. However, if you did play the game at launch, because each game is still a level playing field when everyone drops in, it won't be long until you hit your stride again. For us, the best improvement in PUBG since the 2017 launch comes with patch 12.2, which is the improved spawn rates for the game's loot. Compared to 2017, loot is now plentiful, which means you can actually spend less time looting and more time shooting, which is an incredibly welcome addition to the franchise. Fear not though, thankfully that does not mean everyone is running around with level 3 helmets and level 3 armour on these days. Those items are still incredibly rare, as is the self-revive AED. We are also huge fans of the new weapons, the K2 and the MK12. The latter especially is formidable, which dropped with patch 12.2. And although it's clear that PUBG, thanks to numerous iterative changes made over the years, is a much better place now than it was way back when. The changes made via the 12.2 update from a loot perspective and in adding the comeback BR alongside self-revives most definitely combine in enhancing the experience while ensuring that PUBG feels fresh. On top of that, the new Tiger map means that PUBG is definitely worth another look, or a first look if you've not played it, especially if you're after a more tactical military-based simulation battle royale game. Plus, if you have an Xbox, it's on Game Pass, so you have no excuse not to venture forth and attempt to bake yourself a chicken dinner.